Keanu Reeves, the enigmatic actor revered not just for his cinematic talent but also for his humility and compassion, stumbled upon a story that tugged at his heartstrings in a way few things ever had. While on the set of a film in a small, bustling town, a conversation overheard during a quiet dinner at a local diner set off a chain of events that would forever change the lives of a struggling waitress and her ailing son. Before we start, smash the like and subscribe buttons for more updates. The diner was nothing extraordinary: worn-out booths with fraying leather seats, the faint aroma of coffee mingling with the scent of grilled burgers, and the quiet hum of a jukebox playing old rock ballads. Keanu, known for his low-profile demeanor, had opted to eat there instead of a high-end restaurant. It was a deliberate choice, a break from the pretentiousness of Hollywood. He often found solace in places where authenticity thrived. That evening, as he quietly sipped his coffee and scanned through a book he carried with him, the conversation at the table next to his caught his attention. The waitress, a woman in her mid-30s named Emma, was pouring her heart out to a coworker during a rare moment of reprieve. Her son, Liam, was only 7 years old but was battling a congenital heart defect that required immediate surgery. The cost of the procedure was astronomical, far beyond what Emma could ever hope to afford on her meager earnings. Despite her dire circumstances, she spoke not with bitterness, but with a quiet resolve, her voice trembling yet steady as she expressed her determination to do whatever it took to save her child. Keanu listened, his heart heavy with empathy. He didn't approach her right away. Instead, he observed, noting the exhaustion etched into her face, the way her shoulders sagged under the weight of her struggles, yet how she still managed to smile warmly at each customer she served. It was clear that Emma was a fighter, someone who refused to give up despite the odds stacked against her. The next day, Keanu made inquiries. He asked the diner's manager about Emma, learning more about her dedication, her double shifts, and how she juggled work with caring for her son. He didn't want to invade her privacy, so he kept his questions subtle, framing them as casual curiosity about the hard-working staff. Emma's story resonated deeply with him. He had experienced loss and hardship in his own life, losing his best friend, enduring the death of a child, and grappling with the heartbreak of a stillborn daughter. Those wounds had shaped him, teaching him the value of compassion and the importance of extending kindness whenever possible. That evening, Keanu returned to the diner. This time, he made a point to sit in Emma's section. She approached his table with her usual bright smile, her tired eyes lighting up as she recognized the famous actor. "What can I get you tonight?" she asked, her voice tinged with a mix of excitement and professionalism. Keanu placed his order and engaged her in conversation, asking about her day and complimenting the cozy ambiance of the diner. Emma, flattered but slightly hesitant, spoke briefly before retreating to attend to other tables. Keanu could sense her reluctance to open up, a testament to her humility and reluctance to burden others with her problems. After finishing his meal, Keanu left a generous tip, a stack of $100 bills discreetly tucked under his plate. He didn't stick around to witness her reaction but hoped it would ease some of her immediate financial strain. It was a small gesture, but Keanu had bigger plans in mind. Over the next few days, he quietly enlisted the help of his team to connect with a reputable surgeon who specialized in pediatric cardiac surgery. Through his extensive network, he managed to arrange a meeting with the surgeon and explained Emma and Liam's situation. The surgeon, moved by Keanu's earnest appeal, agreed to take on Liam's case pro bono, provided the hospital fees could be covered. Keanu didn't stop there. He also reached out to a charity organization he had previously supported, ensuring they could assist with covering additional medical expenses and post-operative care. With everything in place, all that remained was telling Emma. One evening, Keanu returned to the diner, this time determined to reveal his plan. He waited until Emma's shift was nearly over, watching as she tirelessly served table after table. When the last customer left, he approached her. "Emma," he began, his voice gentle yet resolute, "I overheard your conversation a few nights ago. I hope you don't mind, but I felt compelled to help." Emma looked at him, her face a mixture of surprise and confusion. "Help?" she echoed, unsure of what he meant. Keanu explained everything, how he had arranged for Liam's surgery, the surgeon who had agreed to perform it, and the charity that would support her through the process. Emma's eyes filled with tears as she listened, her hands trembling as she covered her mouth in disbelief. I don't know how to thank you, she managed to say, her voice breaking. You've saved my son's life. Keanu shook his head. You don't need to thank me, he replied. You're the hero here, Emma. Your love and strength for Liam are what truly matter. True to his word, Keanu remained involved throughout the process. He visited Liam in the hospital before the surgery, bringing him toys and spending hours playing games to lift his spirits. Liam, unaware of the gravity of his condition, laughed and chatted with Keanu as if they had been friends forever. Emma watched from the sidelines, her heart swelling with gratitude and hope. The surgery was a success. Liam recovered quickly, his resilient spirit shining through as he regained his strength. Keanu continued to stay in touch, ensuring Emma and Liam had the support they needed to rebuild their lives. He even set up a college fund for Liam, ensuring his future would be secure. Emma's story spread like wildfire, touching the hearts of countless people who were inspired by Keanu's selfless act. Yet, true to his nature, Keanu never sought recognition for his kindness. When asked about it during interviews, he simply shrugged and said, "It was the right thing to do." For Emma, Keanu's intervention was more than just an act of generosity. It was a lifeline that brought her son back from the brink and restored her faith in humanity. She often reflected on the serendipity of that fateful evening when a quiet stranger in a diner turned out to be the guardian angel she never expected. Keanu Reeves continued with his life, taking on new roles and projects, but the bond he had formed with Emma and Liam remained unbroken. He would occasionally visit them, sharing meals and laughter, a constant reminder that true heroes don't wear capes. They simply act when the moment calls for it. Emma's life after Liam's surgery underwent a transformation that was nothing short of miraculous. The first few days post-surgery were an emotional roller coaster. She sat beside her son in the hospital room, holding his small hand in hers, watching his chest rise and fall with a new rhythm, steadier and stronger than ever before. Every beep of the monitors brought her reassurance. Every visit from the medical staff reinforced the miracle that had unfolded. Yet, amidst the relief, Emma found herself reflecting on the man who had stepped into her life like an answered prayer. Keanu Reeves was not a man who sought the spotlight for his acts of kindness. In fact, the more Emma tried to process everything he had done, the more she was struck by his humility. While Liam recuperated, she found herself replaying the moments she had shared with him. His presence was calming, his words free of the grandiosity that might have accompanied such gestures from someone less genuine. Keanu's kindness wasn't performative. It was innate, the sort of compassion that came from a deeply personal understanding of struggle and loss. The hospital staff, though aware of the story, kept a respectful distance. They treated Emma and Liam like any other patients, a courtesy that Emma appreciated. Liam, however, was more than happy to tell anyone who would listen about his new best friend, who had brought him superhero action figures and played board games with him. His innocent recounting often left nurses smiling and whispering to one another, their admiration for Keanu growing by the day. As Liam's health improved, Keanu's involvement didn't wane. He made regular visits, bringing small gifts and ensuring that Emma felt supported during this transitional period. But there was one moment that stood out, a conversation that left an indelible mark on Emma's heart. It was late one evening after Liam had drifted off to sleep, and Keanu had stayed back to keep her company. "You know," Emma began hesitantly, breaking the comfortable silence between them, "I've been trying to understand why you did all this for us. You didn't know us. You didn't have to care." Keanu leaned back in his chair, his expression contemplative. "I've been in dark places," he admitted quietly. "I've known what it feels like to have the odds stacked against you, to feel like there's no way out. If I can do something to help someone else avoid that, to make their path a little easier, then why wouldn't I?" Emma nodded, tears welling in her eyes. His words weren't dramatic, yet they carried a weight that resonated deeply. She realized then that his kindness came from a place of shared humanity, a recognition of the struggles that connect us all. When Liam was finally discharged, Emma faced a new challenge, rebuilding her life with the stability she had longed for but never imagined achieving. Keanu, true to his word, didn't vanish from their lives. He continued to check in, offering advice and resources to help Emma navigate this new chapter. He even connected her with a financial advisor who specialized in helping single parents manage their finances effectively. Emma returned to work at the diner, But her co-workers and regular customers treated her differently now. They had always respected her work ethic, but after hearing her story, their admiration grew tenfold. Many customers would leave larger tips than usual, and her co-workers often volunteered to cover her shifts if she needed to be with Liam. While Emma appreciated the kindness, she was determined not to let her struggles define her. She worked with renewed purpose, knowing that she had a future to build for her son. Meanwhile, Keanu's gesture began to ripple outward in ways he could never have predicted. News of his involvement eventually reached social media despite his efforts to keep it quiet. A local journalist who had heard about the story wrote a heartfelt piece that quickly went viral, sparking a wave of admiration for the actor's humility and generosity. People from all walks of life were moved to action. Some donated to charities supporting children with medical needs, inspired by Keanu's example. Others began performing their own random acts of kindness, citing the story as their motivation. What had started as one man's compassion for a struggling family grew into a movement of goodwill, proving that kindness, no matter how small or large, has the power to inspire. For Emma, the unexpected fame was overwhelming at first. She was thrust into a spotlight she had never sought, receiving messages of support from strangers around the world. Many shared their own struggles and how Keanu's actions had given them hope. Emma responded to as many messages as she could, often with tears streaming down her face, humbled by the outpouring of love and solidarity. One message stood out in particular. It was from a single mother in another state who had a child facing a similar medical condition. She wrote about how Emma's story had given her the courage to reach out for help and the determination to keep fighting for her child. Emma read the message aloud to Keanu during one of his visits, her voice thick with emotion. "See," he said with a gentle smile, "you're inspiring people now. This is your story as much as it is mine." Emma often wondered what she could do to repay Keanu's kindness. She knew that no amount of gratitude could ever equal the gift he had given her and Liam. But then she realized that repayment wasn't what he sought. Instead, she chose to honor his gesture by paying it forward. With the financial stability she now had, Emma began volunteering at local community centers, sharing her story and offering support to other parents facing hardships. She organized fundraisers for families with medical expenses and became a vocal advocate for affordable health care. Her efforts didn't go unnoticed. She quickly became a beloved figure in her community, a beacon of hope for those who felt lost. Liam, too, was thriving. His recovery was swift, and his boundless energy returned with a vengeance. He often spoke of his dreams of becoming a doctor someday, inspired by the surgeons and nurses who had cared for him. Keanu, hearing this, decided to surprise Liam with a trip to a nearby science museum where they spent the day exploring exhibits and discussing the wonders of the human body. For Liam, it was a day he would never forget, one that solidified his dream of helping others. As years passed, the bond between Keanu, Emma, and Liam remained unbroken. They became like family, celebrating milestones together and supporting one another through life's ups and downs. Keanu attended Liam's school recitals and birthdays, often blending seamlessly into the crowd, content to be a quiet presence in their lives. Emma's story continued to inspire. She was invited to speak at events and share her journey, always emphasizing the importance of kindness and community. She often credited Keanu for giving her the strength to rise above her struggles, but she also acknowledged the role of everyone who had supported her along the way, from the medical staff to her co-workers and even the strangers who had reached out with words of encouragement. Keanu, for his part, continued to live his life with the same quiet grace that had defined him. He took on new film roles, always immersing himself fully in his craft, but he never let his success overshadow his humanity. He remained a steadfast advocate for causes close to his heart, using his platform to amplify voices that often went unheard. One evening, years after that fateful day in the diner, Emma found herself sitting with Keanu on the porch of her modest home. Liam, now a teenager, was inside working on a science project. The two friends sat in comfortable silence, watching the sun dip below the horizon. "Do you ever wonder," Emma mused, "what would have happened if you hadn't been at the diner that night?" Keanu smiled faintly. "I don't believe in coincidences," he said. "Sometimes the universe puts us in the right place at the right time. What matters is what we choose to do with that moment." Emma nodded, her heart full of gratitude and contentment. Life hadn't been easy, but it had brought her something she could never have imagined. a chance to rewrite her story, to give her son the future he deserved, and to remind the world of the power of compassion. Keanu's actions that night had been a catalyst, a spark that ignited a flame of hope and humanity. But it was Emma's resilience and Liam's unbreakable spirit that kept that flame burning, a testament to the incredible things that can happen when people come together to lift one another up. Years passed, and Emma's life became a testament to resilience and the transformative power of kindness. Liam, now in high school, flourished into a vibrant, intelligent young man with an unshakable determination to pursue his dream of becoming a doctor. His journey was guided not only by his own aspirations, but also by the deep gratitude he carried for the second chance at life he had been given. Keanu remained an unwavering presence, not in a way that overshadowed their independence, but as a steadfast friend and mentor. He would occasionally drop by unannounced, bringing books for Liam or sharing stories about his latest film projects with Emma. These visits were never grandiose. They were filled with laughter, casual conversations, and a shared appreciation for the simple moments that life offered. Emma continued her advocacy work, becoming a respected figure in her community and beyond. She started a foundation named after her late mother, who had once been her guiding light during the most challenging times of her youth. The foundation focused on providing financial assistance to families facing overwhelming medical bills, a cause close to her heart. Emma poured her time and energy into the initiative, organizing community events, speaking at conferences, and working tirelessly to secure partnerships with local businesses. The foundation quickly grew, touching lives far beyond the small town where Emma's journey had begun. Families who once felt hopeless found solace in her organization, and Emma often received heartfelt letters of thanks, which she kept in a box labeled "Reminders of Why." Each letter reinforced her mission and reminded her of the kindness she had once been shown and the responsibility she felt to pass it on. One memorable moment came when Liam was invited to speak at a gala held by the foundation. Dressed in a sharp suit, he stood confidently at the podium, addressing an audience of donors, community leaders, and beneficiaries. He shared his story, recounting the uncertainty and fear of his early years and the miraculous turn of events that saved his life. His voice was steady, but his words were filled with emotion as he expressed gratitude for his mother's unyielding love and the compassion of a man who had chosen to act when it mattered most. "I'm here today because someone cared enough to listen, to step in when my family needed help the most," Liam said, his gaze scanning the crowd before landing on Keanu, who sat quietly near the back. "What I've learned is that kindness isn't just a word, it's an action, and it's an action that changes lives." The room erupted into applause. Many in the audience moved to tears. Keanu, ever humble, nodded slightly, his expression a mix of pride and humility. For him, it wasn't about recognition. It was about witnessing the ripple effects of a single moment of compassion. As Liam stepped down from the stage, Emma embraced him tightly, her heart swelling with pride. In that moment, she realized how far they had come, not just in overcoming their struggles, but in creating a legacy of hope and generosity. For her, Keanu wasn't just the man who saved her son. He was the catalyst that reminded her of the power of love, resilience, and the profound impact one person can have when they choose to act with their heart. As Liam's speech echoed in the hearts of those who attended the gala, Emma couldn't help but marvel at how much her son had grown, both in character and in purpose. The shy, fragile boy who once spent nights hooked up to machines was now standing tall, commanding the room with his voice and inspiring others with his journey. It wasn't just pride she felt. It was a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, and the heart-wrenching decisions had all been worth it. If you liked this video, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. Also, leave your comments below and tell us. What are your thoughts on Keanu Reeves helping the struggling waitress and her son? We want to hear from you. Thank you for watching and see you next time.